DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, it's Sunday morning, and I hope you've had a good weekend up to now, since it's already halfway through. I've just been up for, let me see, what time is it? Oh, I've been up for a bit more than an hour now. It's coming up to 7:30. And done my usual, I was going to say, morning stuff, so which is my Sunday morning devotion, so it's a bit of Bible reading, but then it's every morning. I spend some time doing my Spanish lessons, which I did already, some of them, and thought, well, maybe I'll take a little bit of time and do a video and have a bit of a chat with you guys. Yeah, yesterday we had the family over. Well, actually, the grandkids and first son of DC and my daughter-in-law. And what I was just going to say is that it was funny because they had in this week they had one of the first school plays. So the Matthew, so the second one, second grandchild is he's in. I guess it counts like kindergarten. There's this. They changed the name of things in the last few years anyway, but it is like, it's probably it's like, what do they call it? Pre-kindergarten, something like that. It's called something else here as well. Anyway, but they had the little plays, and so my son had, with his iPhone, he'd, taken the video, and we watched that yesterday, so we're streaming onto the television technology. And Matthew was sitting in my lap and, cuddling up and was showing me what was going on. And I was looking at the parents and, how, that pride of, showing the video with the first, with the children and this. And it reminded me how I felt. And the fact is I was actually feeling the same pride as a grandfather watching it. And then I pulled out some old VHS cassettes that we had purchased at the time from the kindergarten schools when our children were doing that. And I was astonished in the bad sense of the bad quality. Okay, maybe they didn't age very well or one thing or another, but first off, I hadn't watched something on a VHS for a long time, but there was a few things that came out. Well, there was the bad lighting in the school. There was whoever filmed it at the time. Of course, these were really low resolution cameras. So like what it was, this was like in the very early 90s, and so handheld and family. This must have been these mini VHS. What were they called? I don't remember right now. But these mini VHS cameras. I know a friend of ours had one, and we had borrowed one once. But the resolution was pretty bad on this one. And I was looking at that. I was thinking, like, wow, we have gotten so used in today's world with technology of having like, HD, high res, and so on, that when you see an older handheld amateur movie, it can be pretty bad at times. And at the same time, we all know how there's sometimes you fall on things. Like I say, I've taken films of the kids when I with a neighbor's camcorder at the time, and I did a pretty good job overall. But I think I thought about the lighting and stuff like that. Anyway, but it was amusing. It was still actually really funny because here we are, we're looking and we're saying like, well, where is he? And the resolution was so bad that we could barely recognize the kids at one point. So anyway, yeah. Memories. See, when you get into gray hair like that, people go on with memories and so on. I laugh at that a little bit because I mean the question of the gray hair, because it's one of those things that really marks people. If you've had gray hair, relatively young and so on, they're always wondering and thinking that you're already retired or something like that. I mean, I can see that. I've heard somebody was telling me the other day, a man who's in his late 50s, but his hair is gray like mine, and he said, my wife beat on my back to dye my hair so that people stop asking me if I'm retired. And I told him, I said, well, I never bothered with that. When I was in high school, we had one of our friends. He was a really good-looking guy. He was tall, slim, and athletic nevertheless, and he did a lot of photography actually at the time. And all his hair, he was like he wasn't 20, but he had premature gray hair. And it's funny. I mean, it's kind of like the George Clooney thing. All the girls were wild about him, and even you could hear even the elderly ladies that would be talking about Jerry and saying how good looking he was, and how his hair, because it was out of. He did actually have a nice head of hair, and I mean he did have nice hair, and the color came out really well. And the grayish, when he had some black, a bit of black, so it was very much salt and pepper. But he was not 20 yet, and I never heard or nor saw him after that. But yeah, looks. Basically, I guess was coming out of that. How looks can be deceptive, and at the same time, how much they influence what you think of a person. I mean, have you ever? You've probably seen people that are, well, basically ugly or what, and the fact that they are ugly, people give them an other character trait than what they really have. They lose out because of their looks. And I mean, it's all the concept of body shaming and everything. Yeah, I know. It's like that. And also people like to imitate. I had when I was at university, there was Gregory was his name. And this Gregory was enamored with all the music of Bach, and he even bought a harpsichord and had it in the university residences. And the guy would dress, he'd have his hair, actually his hair was more like Beethoven, we used to tell him, but he would get mad when we told him that. But he would have, his hair would be arranged almost in the style of that period and so on. And it was kind of amusing because we were in a chemistry department, and so you had this guy, at the time, people weren't all that careful, I mean, with, hair and stuff like that, and we were still working with Bunsen burners on some of these experiments, especially in the classes. So, yeah, he was a rather special case. But his harpsichord was nice. I'd been to his room, and he had like this little small room, because we had in the residences double and single rooms, and he had a single one, and he managed to get his harpsichord into that, a rather small harpsichord, but nevertheless, you could walk in, you kind of like wiggle around the harpsichord, and you could sit on his bed. I mean, that was basically all there was. There was a desk with a chair, there was his bed, and there was the harpsichord. And that was rather special, yeah. Geez. It's funny, when you start off on a vlog like this, I started off talking about the grandkids and ended up talking about a harpsichord in a university residence. I guess that's the whole thing, of an unscripted vlog. You just end up talking about stuff, yeah. Yeah, just brought me back some good memories. Okay, we're coming up to 10 minutes, I'll stop here. I'll be DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and I'll keep on sipping on to my English breakfast. English breakfast tea. Okay.